They don't need to be good at their jobs because they've conditioned the cult, the run-of-the-mill voters in the MAGA world. They've conditioned them to just believe anything they're told. Pam Bondi is not good at her job. And I don't mean good at her job as the Attorney General of the United States and the head of the Department of Justice, because that, after all, that's not her real job. That's Stephen Miller's job. He's the one who calls the shots and pulls the strings to control Miss Pam Bondi. We're talking about her job of covering for Donald Trump, her job of providing some kind of concealment for him to hide under from his credible accusations of abusing children. We'll use very PG language here so YouTube doesn't restrict this video, because Google, we're finding out, is also in the business of covering for Donald Trump. Let's start with the hearing yesterday before the Senate Judiciary Committee, providing the oversight that is constitutionally mandated. After all, the executive branch of the United States government is not an island unto itself. It has two other co-equal branches that it must answer to, as designed by our founders, with the many checks and balances. And yesterday, as part of this oversight and the questioning of the different policies that took place, that are currently taking place under the Trump administration, we're going to start with Adam Schiff, the senator from California, asking Pam Bondi, the head of the Department of Justice, about the alleged $50,000 bribe that is apparently on camera of the border czar, Tom Homan, you know, the mushmouth dildo with ears. Did he accept this money? Her answer proves just how bad at her job she is.
You did, but in case I just didn't hear you, what is the answer? Did he take the money?
Senator Schiff, that happened prior to my confirmation as Attorney General. I said that.
Do you know, sitting here, whether
all
he took
I
the
know
money?
is that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Patel said there was no case. And Caroline Leavitt is one of the most trustworthy human beings I know.
So
and,
was she,
was she
if
you worked for me, you would have been fired because you were censured by Congress for lying with your
we can stipulate to, you can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
Personal attacks? You've been attacking my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking.
But what we're interested in,
borders are.
What we're interested in is the anscer to these oversight questions.
You were asked
by my colleague. You were asked by my colleague.
Attacking good people.
Regular order, Madam Chair, so I can ask a question.
Not good at her job. Even if I was critiquing her job as Attorney General here, she's not good at that either. I mean, she's a lawyer. Presumably, she's a lawyer. She's gone to law school. She's passed the bar for at least the state of Florida. And here she is saying, he says, did he take the money? That happened before my confirmation hearing. What relevance is that, Pam? What relevance is when the crime took place relative to whether it took place? And when you just openly admit that happened before, you're not really beating the allegations against the Trump administration and the hand-chosen border czar, again, the aforementioned mushmouth dildo with ears, Tom Homan. Also, Caroline Leavitt is the most honest person you know. You're already off on a bad foot, sister. We know Caroline Leavitt. She is among the worst liars that have ever been employed by Donald Trump. And that's saying something. But with McEnany and Huckabee Sanders and Sean Spicer, we've seen a litany of liars work for Donald Trump. And also, Caroline Leavitt isn't some investigatory body of the United States of America. She has no law enforcement authority. She's a paid talker. For her to just proclaim that he never took the money when he himself doesn't deny that he took the money, it says everything we need to know. The parade of bad at her job continued. I talked about this yesterday, but this drum needs to be beaten to death here. And that is the Epstein connection between Donald Trump and the sex trafficking of children, the criminal enterprise of Jeffrey Epstein, and who knows who else. And the reason I say who knows who else is because they won't release the files. They won't let us know what Donald Trump's involvement is or was, and who else was involved. We don't know. They won't tell us. And when asked about this, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse asked specifically about rumors and testimony from people that Donald Trump is in photos with half-naked young women, I believe he says. We don't know the ages. If it's an Epstein-connected thing, unlikely that it's young women. And she flips out, does not answer, rather than just say, no, of course not. Donald Trump's not in any photos that were in the possession of Jeffrey Epstein that he used to show to people containing half-naked girls. She does not say that. Instead of saying, no, they don't exist, she freaks out, which tells us more than just silence would. Watch this.
Let me ask you something else. There's been public reporting that Jeffrey Epstein showed people photos of President Trump with half-naked young women. Do you know if the FBI found those photographs in their search of Jeffrey Epstein's safe or premises or otherwise? Have you seen any such thing?
You know, Senator Whitehouse, you sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump left and right, when you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. And the senator sitting right next to you tried to block the flight logs from being released. Yet you're grilling me on President Trump and some photograph with Epstein? Come on.
The question is, did the FBI find those photographs that have been discussed publicly by a witness who claimed Jeffrey Epstein showed them to him? You don't know anything about that. Okay.
This is how denials work. Sheldon Whitehouse has said unequivocally, flatly, that's untrue. I have not received any campaign donations from the person she's making the accusation of. That's how a denial works. A denial is not this. All he asked was, do you know if the FBI found these photos? Have you seen these photos? That's the question. Why the consternation? Why the fit throwing? Why the obstruction? Why the anger? If there's no photos, the answer is no, the FBI have found no such photos. That's the answer. Why? You just love to hate Donald Trump. You hate our cult leader. If there's no photos, there's no photos. That's the answer. If there was no contribution, a political contribution made, the answer is, yeah, I don't know that guy. He never gave to my campaign. That's a lie. That's how a denial works. Apparently, you're so bad at your job, you don't even know how to do that, Pam Bondi. Whether it be the Department of Justice head, whether it be just high priestess in the cult of Donald Trump, you're bad at it all. And this kind of is the situation we find ourselves in, where it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy with MAGA world. They don't need to be good at their jobs because they've conditioned the cult, the run-of-the-mill voters in the MAGA world. They've conditioned them to just believe anything they're told, to adopt the idea that they're told as reality. So they don't need to be good. They don't need to be squirrely or wily or some other invective of what a liar would be. They don't need to do that because they've conditioned the low information, unwashed horde of Fox News viewers to just go along like automatons and follow along with what they're told, yearning for the boot of tyranny upon their necks. What do you think? I would invite you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine and take care of one another.